Hello, everybody, and welcome to another session on Real Time with T and M. We are never slacking, and we are also still bringing the cruise and the vibe on this session. As you can see, I'm not alone. I also have Maureen right here with me. So, Maureen, introduce yourself again to the viewers, even though say they know you before, but just introduce yourself. Come on.
They know. Hi guys. Hi. I'm super excited. Like I'm so elated this morning or this afternoon rather. I'm so happy because the feedback we got on Splendor's episode was really mind blowing, and I know you guys will keep getting the feedback and keep it coming in. And today's episode, which is our fourth episode since we started, aren't you guys so happy? The sessions we've had, a normal session, like it went up the roof. People were DMing me, giving me like messages on Twitter, telling us like we were really doing well. And thank you for the feedbacks, those that gave us suggestions and all. So, guys, if this is your first time of subscribing to our of coming to our channel, rather, please make sure you subscribe and make sure you keep sharing real time with T and M. So today, why I actually said I'm even happy is because it's not just a speaker, right? The person we're bringing today is not just a random speaker. I've known the journey. I've heard him speak several times, and also above all, I've experienced his journey with him. So it's a kind of personal, conversation and storytelling with this our current speaker, right? So, guys, with no further ado, I'm not going to waste so much time. Guys, make welcome Bolahon Adebayo. Give it up for him, guys.
Yeah. Hi
Hi,
guys. Hi.
hi.
I'm really happy to be here. Thank you guys. You guys are doing like amazingly well, and it's such an honor to be part of this and what you do. And let's have fun, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, let's have fun. So, guys, you guys know how we always do it. Our regular is always try to introduce our speaker to the audience. As much as Bolaho is very popular in the Nigerian data community space, like he's like the celebrity, but there are other audience that are outside Nigeria. I think we got one from Zambia or
Uganda.
something.
Yeah, Uganda.
Uganda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we got one from. So for those of you outside Nigeria, like we get to introduce our audience, and also we get to drop their link to their social media handle just right down the description page. So guys, we have the popular Bolahona Debayo. This one is not just I told you guys, he's like my manners man, like my person. So I'm so glad to be doing this with him. When I look back the previous time we met, it's over a year now or so. I wouldn't, have thought I'll be doing this and he'll be on the other side and I'll be here. So I'm really glad and honored to do this with you, GB. So let's get it started. So who is Bolahon Adebayo? Bolahon Adebayo is a data visualization developer at Magnet and also a Tableau ambassador for the year 2023. Bolahon has a strong passion for turning complex data sets into clear and visually appealing insights with Tableau. He has been recognized as a 4X Vis of the Day and an IBB Award nominee for his outstanding work in data visualization. Bolawan is also an active member of the Nigerian data community, where he strives to drive positive change and inspire others with his knowledge and skill. He recently volunteered to be one of the speakers in the Data Fest Africa, where he shared his insight on how to create effective KPIs in Tableau. And by the way, guys, his session in Data Fest is like one of the biggest sessions. People were literally standing. If you go on his LinkedIn, you could see the pictures and the videos he posted, which will also drop on the description page. So one of his most popular projects is 20 ways to design a business dashboard with Idris, which has gained over 50,000 views and over 1,000 favorites on Tableau Public. This is like mind blowing. And this project showcases creativity and also with Idris and expertise in designing dashboards and that are informative, engaging, and also user friendly. Finally, Bolahon is also a proud recipient of the notable Newbie Business Award at the just concluded Tableau Conference 2023, where he impressed the judges and the attendees with his innovative and original visualization. So, guys, one more time, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming to Real Time
thank you.
and
Yeah, sure. Like when you were reading out all those things, I'm like, oh my God, it's like,
yeah,
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 it's so nice. I was almost like shy, like, sorry, please. But yeah, really nice.
yeah, yeah. It is actually. When I was doing my research, I know you sent me a couple of links to go through at your personal bio, but as someone that knows you on a personal level, when I read that, that didn't tell who you really are, right? I said I'm not going to use this bio. I'm not going to read this. Well, this does not even showcase half of your, track records. It doesn't. So I had to like go back and based on the knowledge I had with you and all the stuff you shared with me, both off social media and all. I just decided to put one or two together, right? And it keeps wowing me every single time. So the first question would be, in fact, let's go this way. Apart from all these things I've mentioned, right? What else? What else? Like, I don't want to hear tableau right now in the first few minutes of our conversation. Let's talk about something fun, like a hobby, something you really, really like doing. Like,
Yeah,
if you can
yeah,
share that with.
yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, I think I like to like pick and drop hobbies a lot. I like to consistently challenge myself. Right now I'm trying to learn French.
Bonjour les massis. Laisse-moi bien quoi tu es doué, tu es.
And I recently tried to like register for a saxophone class to learn how to play the sax. Earlier this year, I was doing some OAP stuff like at the radio station in Ondo States. I used to like talk sports on Sundays,
Yeah.
7:30, for fun. So personally, I like to like do a lot of like challenging things. I always like pick and drop challenges basically. So yeah, I don't know how much fun that is. I used to write. I just have a lot of things I do. Like aside from now, like I'm really preoccupied. But yeah.
Do you play football?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. But like most of like when I was finishing school, I sort of moved towards like coaching and like being like
Ah,
yeah, exactly department
Ibadan
coach.
Guardiola.
I mean, if you say so, I'm not bored though, so yeah, that counts. Yeah, so yeah, I like football a lot. I'm a Manchester City
Mm.
fan, so I tweet about Man
Oh,
City too when I can. Yeah, yeah, don't worry, all your money. I know, right? But all good. Yeah,
that's good.
All right. Nice, nice. I'm so happy to hear that. And I know the audience is so glad to hear that, to hear the other side of you apart from data. So this will lead me to the second question. Why data? I know you graduated at with, is it computer science, right? You have
Mhm,
a computer science bachelor's degree, yeah.
mhm,
And of course, you would have chosen any path, which is software
mhm.
engineer, UI, UX, app development, and all those stuff. But why did you pick data of all these skill sets, and or why data?
Yeah. To be honest, I don't really have like a cliche answer. Not like I love numbers and like I love to crunch. I don't think so. I actually got to like find out about data from like a football manager game. I don't know if I'm famous like FM. So like I used to
Yeah,
play like
sure.
yeah, yeah. So I used to play like FM a lot, like when I was in school. And like there was this particular 2020 version that came out, and then it had like this data hub. Like it was the new version. And like when I played it, the first thing was I observed that, like you could hire a performance analyst like in your team, and then it would go through like your previous matches, and then it would have like a visualization to show you how your team has been performing, and then it would show you like the team you're going to play with next, and then a visualization to show this your team's heat map. So I think it was there like I felt like this is like really really intriguing, and I initially started like looking into what this thing means, like performance analyst, like what does it mean to be a performance analyst, and like why are you drawing all these charts and why do you have all these things, like it's just a game, and like there is this new thing that sort of added a whole level of information, like a, a huge level of information basically. And then that's when I got to see about like data analysis and all. And then that's why I started like moving. Because initially I started like learning product management. I never liked writing code even when I was in school. So I usually pass, but like never had like liked it for fun. But it was through the game actually, to be honest. Then that's why I like got to feel anything called data. I mean, I was studying computer science and we had like DBMS courses and all, but you know the way it is now, it's just like very theoretical. You probably like not do anything like as nice or as interesting as you would want it to be. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say like that's where I sort of like liked it, not like initially liking numbers or like liking to design or stuff. So I think over time then it's just been like an evolution and evolving and like getting to find new things and liking them more. Yeah, fun,
So
right?
is
I
the
guess.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
actually both. Like finding what you love through what you actually love, which is football and data, because I think
Mm.
these are the two things you actually like doing, visualization and
Hmm.
all. And it takes a very is it called someone that is focused or too observant to know what are these people actually doing, and you can pick up a career path from that verse of you having fun and all. It's
Oh,
really amazing.
if you say observant, I think like you're just flattering me. I was just like eager to try out every single thing in the game.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Okay, nice, nice. But all I'm trying to say is at least you picked up a
mm,
career from football. A lot of people do all this. I don't know what FM is, but a lot of people do it for fun. I guess that's what it means.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like it's quite exceptional. It's a rare stuff to find. So this gets me to the second question, right? So this conversation will be about your journey, and also, of course, for people that are interested in Tableau, we'll have like tips and tricks on how you build a data visualization in Tableau. Just give it to us like small. If they want food, they can now come to you. So the second question would be why why data visualization, because I always say this, like we have vast options. We have options of being a data engineer or be so like the previous speaker we had was SQL, like SQL. If it's not SQL, I don't know what you're trying to say, and I see that you've tilted towards the data visualization part. Like what really intrigued you on getting to follow the data visualization part?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Thank you. Nice question. I think because I've always been someone that like I don't know, I really admire hearts. Like in my room, I have a heart work like on my back literally and like three other places. So like I've always admired that. And one really nice thing about data visualization is like if you see something that really catches your fancy, it's not really hard. Like if you just see a dashboard, sometimes not a business dashboard, like a creative visualization, and then you feel like I just really love this. Like it's so easy for you to like get attracted to things like that. I don't know how easy it is for you to get attracted to SQL codes. Like it's not like the most fun thing to see, like especially when it's long and then you have to like trace out things. But for visualization, it's like because we human beings we understand like visual information like very very quickly. I mean, if I write like 10 random numbers and I put them beside each other, and then I have like a bar that shows like those numbers, like the heights, you would easily know like what is what and which is the most and which is the least, like less than 2 or 3 seconds, because naturally we understand visual information like way 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 fast. And so I think for visualization for me it's originally just seeing people's works and just having that feeling like this is so cool and I really want to do this like someday, right? And like I said, a lot of these things are like not premeditated. Like I probably didn't say I genuinely just want to go into data visualization like when I was starting out and trying to learn and find my way. But it just became a sort of thing like when you build something, you feel like this is so nice and I want to build something else. And how can I show this in a different way? And sort of that feeling just keeps growing, and then you find yourself keep improving, and then you get like this sense of satisfaction when someone reaches out to you and said, I just saw your stuff and I think like it's really nice and I think like it resonates with me. And for me, not just business dashboards, because I spend almost every time using business dashboards at work. So I try to like play around creatively. I try to like visualize less business topics. And then when you see some of these topics, like, and it's sort of, so sometimes it's to pass across an important message. Sometimes it's to like just play around, make a visualization about a movie that you liked or about something that really like attracts you. You just
Yeah,
find people really resonating with what you are thinking because it's
yeah.
so visual and it's so like attractive. Let me use that word attractive. It's like you just see it and you're like, I like this thing, right? And then you want to like research, you want to take your time, you want to read. So I think that's it. I just like the power that is behind visual information and also how easy it is like naturally for almost anyone to understand what is seen visually, Yeah, that's
Amazing,
for me.
amazing. So you just like the appealing. It's appealing to the
Yeah, yeah,
eyes.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
Like it's given. Yeah,
Give
yeah,
me. Ever hates that word. Please don't say it again. You block everybody.
yeah.
Okay, nice, nice one. So I'm going to like go to the roots because, like I told Anoma, like everybody on social media gets to see the fanciful side of things, whereby you see someone, oh, this person is winning an award, this person is trying to get this person is already this person is working here. I know when I met you, you were, I think you were working at a particular company, but I would love you to walk us like through how you started so you got your first job, because I think that's the range most of our audience are trying to venture into the data space. It's quite difficult. If you like, get do the whole project, but can you just strategically tell us what you did through your learning process, the challenges that you faced, and how you got your first role?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, of course, that makes sense. Um, I started, the way everyone starts. Like, there's this Google Analytics professional course, like almost everybody takes, and like it started from that same pathway. It's a very common thing, like almost all everyone did at some point. And initially, when I started, there's this thing like this dilemma that everyone faces where there is so much for you to learn when you're coming in because you literally hear so many people giving different opinions. Everything, most of the opinions are correct, right? Like there are no wrong opinions, but like there are just different ways to do it. And they show it like that. Some would say I did this first. Someone would say like I did this the other way. Someone would say like I did this way. And initially it was like, that same thing that everyone faces. Like, so what way do I go? And for me, I think I just decided to like go the general way first, and then I felt like once I had like the general feeling of what I'm getting into, and I'll start like specializing in all these things. I'll start taking my time to like learn these things like one after the other, right? And so I took like this Google professional course like generally, and you would get to learn like what data analysis means, like what it means generally, and those kind of stuff. You get introduced like Excel at like the most surface level, SQL at the surface level, and then I think Tableau, yes, at the surface level too. And I think, and then how I think, yes, at some point, yes. So I think I took this first. I took this for like a while. I don't want to like put time frames because I can't remember specifically like if it's 3 months or 4 months and stuff. But I took this for a while, and then at some point I felt, yeah, I feel like I have like a general idea of what this thing means, and you know what? Let me just take each of these tools like themselves and just like spend time getting to know them like independent of each other, right? So I was not like ready to like mix and match, right? So naturally it's going to be like Excel because it's the most familiar one in some ways amongst the rest because like from secondary school we'd run to the computer lab to open Microsoft Excel and everyone is happy and messing around with things. And then, the realization like messing around with things in secondary school is different from like when you have to use it to do really important work. And so it's started from like just generally understanding like Excel and it's a very should I say like it's a very cliche way like because almost everybody starts this way and Excel and at some point I was like okay fine I don't know if like I can't be an expert in months like basically it's a lifelong process you see people that have been doing this like for 15, 20 years and
Yeah,
you just have to like imagine like 15, 20 years is not like they're not learning like actively every day because they are doing it almost every day. It's so passive. It's passive. It's part of them. It's something like they just do. And so I felt
yeah,
like if I'm learning this thing actively for like 1 year, like I'm just going to have like the knowledge. I don't know if I'm going to have like the way to like impact it, like to use it to make something like make sense. And so
Mm-hmm.
after a while, when I felt like I had like the general idea, like good enough for me to understand like the intricacies of the tool, like you won't open the tool for me and then I'll be lost. So I understand like what to do and what to move around. I decided to like jump to the next thing and like, okay, check out SQL. What does it mean? Codes. At this time I've not met Maureen yet. Like it's a long time ago. So check SQL. And one funny thing about SQL is like you could like learn these things because there's so much, like there are just so many commands. You can't know all these things offhand, basically. Like no matter how much you try to like put it in your head. But like there are just some basic stuff that you have to know. And I got to realize about and like this thing is like a lot of understanding. So the commands are not like the most tricky parts, but how do you interpret like what to use them to do? And then it's easy for you to go to Google and say, I want to get like days in seconds in SQL. What command did I use to do that? And then you'll see like, oh, this is the command, and then you just write it and it's easy. But how do you know like that's what you need to do in the first place? So that was the part like I didn't get initially when I was starting out. It was more of understanding like as many commands, and Tableau, Power BI, like took a launch at the two. Initially, I started with Power BI. I was using Power BI like a lot. Until I went to Tableau Public and I started seeing like visualization. I felt like maybe this resonates with me more. And so like, okay, yeah. So generally it was like, just very general way of starting out. And that continued for a while. And then after a while, I just felt like for SQL and visualization, I've not started looking for a job at this time because I felt like I was not good enough. I don't know if that's like the best feeling. Some of the things like if I had a chance to restart, I'll probably like not do that. But for a long time I just felt like I was not good enough, and I was putting so much effort into learning, you know. And sometimes then it started feeling like I was circumnavigating, like I was doing the same thing over and over and over again, you know. So back to the main point. After like trying to take all these tools like individually and having a general sense, I just started feeling okay. The application, like, everyone does this COVID project. Like almost everybody does this COVID project. Like you go to YouTube and you see COVID project, and everyone does it. So that was like the first thing I attempted. And then everyone does this COVID project where you get like this data sets, and then you go through it. You try to watch like some of these guys like on YouTube and the rest, and you want to follow them exactly how they are doing it. Like you pause it,
Yeah.
what did you do? And then you go there and then you do it and you play it. Like what did you do? So this kind of stuff, right? And I was literally jumping into everything I could see. Like they want to do side hustle, I'll jump. They want to do ALX, I'll jump. They want to do this, I'll jump. And it didn't really make a lot of sense because I was really contradicting myself. I was not growing. I was just like very stunted, right? I spent like several months, I'm sure, like just being stunted and consistently feeling there is so much to learn. But like at the same time, I'm not like gotten to the half of what I'm supposed to learn. And so I just decided to like make a decision like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to like just be doing these things like myself, like take projects and like just work on things basically. So go to SQL, look for like this SQL sites and solve as many questions as possible. I think this was closer to the time I was meeting Maureen. But for the first job, so when I had like that COVID project on my portfolio, basically, I felt, yeah, let's go, let's go look for stuff.
I
And
think
you know,
I
you
think
won't.
I'm a find that COVID project. You have to put it up here because people have to see the first. I think that's your first project, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It's not my proudest, but yeah, it is. It is, of course. Yeah. So,
Same here, brother.
yeah. So it's when I did it, I felt like yes, like okay, I think I know what I'm doing to an extent, and then you start trying to like search for jobs, and it's another like thing on its own. Like the job searches, it's a word on its own. Like it's a numbers game. You have to like try a lot to like get an opportunity, right? And initially, I didn't get any, to be honest, like most of us, and it was not making a lot of sense initially. So it was just like rinse and repeat. Wake up, try something new, try a project, and like jump into things. And I think the first job thing I got was like from a company, and I was told to build like three Power BI dashboards, like in like 3 days or 4 days, like crazy, right? Like really, really crazy. I was told like it's going to be like an offer in Lagos, and then I have to relocate because I was staying in Akure initially when I finished. So I was going to relocate for some amount of money, not much at all. But I was really excited. Like I got an interview, so I put like a lot of work into building these dashboards. And then I built it. I did the interview. I presented it. Then they said, "Yeah, sure. Like it looks nice. We're going to go forward." Then we had more conversations. They gave me an offer letter, and I was supposed to resume the next week, right? And then the Friday before the next, I reached out like through email and said, "I'm resuming next week. Are there like things I need to keep in mind? Things I need to know? Like so we had like discussions of maybe I would have like the first month remote while I try to like gather up myself and then come to Lagos basically." And I didn't get any response. The next Monday, I was ready, sending messages. I sent like emails, like okay, it's Monday, resumption time. When you get your first job and like you announce to like the whole world, or it's like, yay, I already got the first thing. Of course, because at home they would see like, what are you always doing on the system? Like, what do you do like that you're always doing? And so when you share that thing,
Mm-hmm.
like, I got the job finally, right? And like, oh, happy for you, like that makes sense now. And it's Monday, and then your mom is passing by, like, yeah. So where's the job? Where's the meeting? What's happening?
I trust African parents.
And you're like, hold on, I'm coming. Just let me breathe. And
I
then you
come.
keep like, yeah. And I like they basically ghosted, like basically, and like it was very tough to be honest, because
Wow.
it felt like you reach like this peak and you suddenly like go crashing down like again, and so for a while I just decided to like quit everything. I wasn't like really interested in like doing anything basically. I just wanted to like go on Twitter and like laugh all day and like just push out everything aside like but at the same time I think the funny and annoying thing, good annoying thing at the same time, is because you're in Nigeria, like if you don't help yourself, like it's over. Like nobody's going to like raise you up. Like you're not a rich kid basically. So if you're not a rich kid, you better wake up and like try your luck again.
See rich kid telling you
So
that you're not a rich kid. Look at this man. Look at this rich kid saying if you're not a rich kid, all this reverse psychology. They play
yeah.
my fans.
Yeah. So I was ghosted actually, and it was really, really like hurtful because you have to like do this thing where you say, so your mom is like, it's Thursday, like bros, you are 11 a.m. in bed. This is how you guys work, and you're like, no, actually, no workouts, and so you have to like start from the scratch again,
Yeah.
and I think this was when I just decided to like move into Tableau like fully. Like I went to Tableau Public, I saw visualizations, and I felt like really, really intrigued. And I started reaching out to people. I think I reached out to Idris, like like on Twitter, you know. But when I reached out at that point, I felt like if I should reach out to someone on like social media and I should say, hi, please, I want you to be my mentor. Like I was feeling like this is just going to feel too like I know like I'm putting myself in someone's face like too much. And so I felt like what could I do that could like sort of make me stand out? Like the person would be like, okay, yeah. So I decided to like take some time and build like two really ugly stuff and just say, hi, I've been working on this thing for a while and I've been facing this kind of challenges and I wanted to like help me. And then if he says how ugly they are, like this guy desperately needs help and he wants to help basically. And so that's what I did. Just like build like ugly stuff and like sent the message like, "Hi, I'm working on this, and I see like you're doing really well like in the Tableau space." It's at that time it was not like really really common like in the Tableau space to like see Nigerians in Nigeria like doing amazingly well. Like so, I just reached out, and I think you saw the dashboard. I was like, "Yeah, trying." I was like, okay, I know I'm trying, but just help out and reach out, right? So yeah, and then during that period, I was still trying to like look for a next thing, and the next job I got was like quite a funny scenario. So I was on Indeed that night, like the Indeed app thing, and I just saw like data analysts like needed in Abuja or something like that, like remotely, and then I saw 300 naira like job pay. I was like, what do you mean? Like, is this a joke, basically? And then my Nigerian BG self said, maybe it's 300,000 and they wanted to write Jerry. So I just said, like, yeah, let me just shoot my shots. Yeah, I was like, yeah, let me just shoot my shot. So I don't know why they did that thing. I don't know, maybe it was a mistake or maybe it was to put people off, but I really don't know. But I just sent a message, right? I just said, the way you do, like, you try to apply for stuff, like send in your CV. My CV at that point was like not CV in, it's probably like AZ or anything aside from C and V. So I just like sent things like, and I got the message the next day, like, you would like to interview for the stuff, right? And the first question I asked is it actually 300 naira? Like, I saw 300 naira, but like, I'm trying to be sure because I'm not going to waste my time. Like, if you guys are not serious about this thing. So it just felt like a scam, sort of like, didn't make sense. I was like, no, 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 it's not 300. Like, it's actually $300. I was like, yeah, intent. Like, yes, sure. Like, let's go, basically. So Then we did the interview, and what he asked was just basically like very basic Excel. Asked me to like move around in the sheet, like do some filtering, do some like sorting, all this kind of stuff. I was really feeling like a king because I'm like, what? I did these things like when I was starting out, right? So, so it went well. And then I said, okay, fine. So I got it actually. So that was like the first job I got, like that way. And then it was supposed to be like for 4 hours a day, part time actually. And then I found out like it was like a company like outside, and they were just like trying to get people like like based on like just little work. Not like they were starting at like very very basic stage, so they didn't really need like a lot of labor or force. It's just 4 hours a day, like you going through Excel stuff and like just doing all this basic task, right? Not really like much of the entire data analysis thing. It's involved some little bit of data entry and like looking at Google Analytics, some of these things like that I was not doing. But now, because like I said, as a Nigerian, you wouldn't want to be sacked because you didn't do well. Like you would probably like want to be, the company didn't do well, like the company was shut down, so that's why I was laid off. So naturally you would want to like pick up learning skills, like okay, what can I learn? What can I like pick up basically? And so it was like that till then they moved it to like 8 hours a day, then they doubled the pay, and that went on for a while. So like that was like till the company folded up actually at the end of last year. So that was like because like I said, like very very little company, so they didn't like really need a lot, and they were not generating like lots of money, so just had to fold up. But yeah, for the first 5 6 I think for a while. I think almost for a while, Sha, for a while. I don't know how long it is, but definitely more than 6 7 months. I worked there, and that was how I got it. So, I mean, a little bit of luck, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think I understand what it feels like to get a dollar job. It's usually a bit of there's always this a bit of luck in getting all these dollar paying
Mm,
job. I've experienced
mm,
it once.
mhm.
I've gotten a job where I was earning like I think 1K, 2K in a month, and it was luck too. I just saw it. Kilele yi, let me just apply.
Yeah,
And when I was just
yeah.
apply, it's looking really what is going on here? Before you know, you just
Yeah,
in fact, when I first got that my job, it was like until they paid the first $100, I realized that okay, wait,
this is
these years
true.
are serious. So and as a Nigerian that Sakwa was holding, I was like, no, if they can pay $100 and I just did small stuff, me,
Yeah,
Yoruba boy,
why
we
not
Sakwa the
triple it
road.
or double it?
I was I
Yeah,
was working my ass out, so I totally get
yeah.
it. So I want to ask you something first. So first thing first, what university?
I finished from Unilori.
Unilorin. Oh, so you schooled
Yeah.
in my state. Wow, that's actually cool. That's
So
okay.
you're from
So
Kwara State.
yes, I'm from Kwara State actually. I don't
This
look
state
like
is
one, but
boring.
then I'm actually from Kwara State.
Yeah, you don't look like one because it's a boring
Yeah.
state, my friend.
No, my state is not Warrior. No. For the first time, I went to Kwara State, like in my life, like for the first time, September, and I went to Ilorin. Like I went to my village first, then I went to Ilorin,
Mm,
and Ilorin was just
mhm,
so calm. It was less
mm,
energetic compared to Lagos. I'm coming from
mm.
Lagos where everything is just bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
You're always moving, you're
everything is
always
bad,
running,
bad. Yeah,
always looking
yeah,
back. But, you know,
yeah,
I just felt
yeah.
this calmness, this peace. I'm like, so Lagos have been
Mm.
suffering since. I
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
the
Just
same
so you
thing
guys
too
know.
when I went to Ibadan too. I think I've been to Ibadan like
Yeah.
2 times, and I
Mm,
felt that calmness, that this sense of like, okay, the energy is low,
mm.
calm
Yeah.
down, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
that's
Like I like yeah. I think in my honest opinion, I think like the Rema Calm Down song should be played in like Lagos every day. Like you guys just calm down. Like it's
yeah.
just a rush in Lagos. Yeah,
Yeah, it
basically.
is.
But
It is, to be honest.
yeah.
So I want to ask you something else. So you were talking about how you started, how it felt like everything was scattered, you were not doing fine. So do you think if there was like a proper school structure for data analysis, do you think you would have done better at the beginning stage?
Um yeah, to be honest at some point. But yes, like I think generally for people, like and I think for myself starting out, if there was something like that was really organized, like maybe by someone, No, we have something like I think old school is doing something related to data right now. I'm not sure, but like now we have like more of that kind of stuff. But like if we have like things that are like really structured, then I think it's nice, especially if you're starting out. So I think like the structure is very important at the beginning stage, like when you do not know what's at your left hand side and what's at your right hand side. I think like after like a few months, then you should be allowed to like try out different things, see what resonates with you the best. Like, are you a SQL person? Like, do you really like writing these things, or do you like to visualize a lot, or like because you like at some point you would have to specialize in one thing a little bit above the rest because you can be good in everything, but it's usually very good when you are really great at one thing too. Like people know you like this guy is like just really good at this stuff. It's not like if you present other things to him, you probably wouldn't find his way around it. But like first come first serve. Like if you are looking for a first come first serve on this basis, your mind automatically goes to him. So I think when you're starting out, you're not going to try to be an expert immediately in one thing because that means like you're trying to be very short sighted because you don't know what you're going to end up in. And a lot of times, what you get to specialize in is sometimes not even determined by you. You could get a job, and then what you do at the job almost every day is writing SQL queries, and you'll be good at it because that's what you have to do every day, basically. And then if you're going to get another job, that's going to be what is going to be on CV, and so that's what you're going to propose as your best skill. Like, I'm really good at writing this thing because I write it like almost every day. Or you are visualizing every day, and then if you're going to get the next job, you're going to like say, this is what I'm great at. So sometimes like what we get to specialize in is not even like very, very what's the word now? Like you chose it yourself, right? It's not like something that you chose yourself. So I think when you're starting out, like if there's something like a structure to at least let you know what, like these are like the most basic things. These are like the building blocks. Then after a while, you can explore. You can find out like which one resonates with you the most. Which one like are you most comfortable with? Which one do you like find more joy doing? So yeah, I think I would agree. Like there should like if there is a basic block building phase, that'd be great.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself as a data visualizer?
Yeah, I do in every sense of it. Like that's it. Like
People tend to shy away from it. Like I've seen people call themselves data analysts, but they don't want to call themselves data visualizer. They feel like they are
mm,
kind of like watering the. I'm like, no, no. If you want to like stay in visualizing, stay there. If you want to analyze data, sales report, pick a side. Don't try to like be a visualizer and start hiding under the umbrella term of I'm a data analyst. Like, you
yeah.
understand?
So like I have yeah I do like I have this funny like this opinion about this thing. It's like 'cause when I started out like I was doing like a lot like almost everything. Like I said, like it was a really small company, and then we're jumping from Excel to like they didn't really have a database, right? Because they're really small company, so it was more of reports. So I wasn't using SQL like at all. But Excel, then some little Google Analytics because they had like an e-commerce website, and so they were tracking Google like the Google Ads performance and like the views on the website and all from Google Analytics. And then Tableau, like because I told them like, I could use Tableau, and then every meeting that we have on Friday, instead of like seeing Excel, why don't I like just visualize it so it's more fun for everyone? And so the first time I did it, it was like really nice because we went from like using hands on screen to trace numbers to like seeing them like like on the screen like as bars and line charts, and so it was really nice and really fun. I was not really good at Tableau like to be honest, but I did really basic stuff that like really wowed them because they're coming from just numbers to like visual representation, like I said, and naturally we understand visual representation like very quickly. And so initially I was doing like everything, like just taking this part and taking this part. And what I think people just need to realize is like data visualization on its own, it's an entire word on its own basically. There is data journalism, right? Like there are journalists. Like if you recently followed the Information is Beautiful awards, like there were awards for like different categories. You have people like in the humanitarian category. You have people like they were talking about like things that are happening in society with just their visualizations. You have people from like World Bank winning like awards with a visualization team, right? And data visualization is more than like Tableau and Power BI. Tableau and Power BI are like really, really good business intelligence tools. But we have
Yeah.
like R that can be used. We have like people use Svelte, people use D3.js. Like there are so many tools that can be used for data visualization. So it's an art like on its own. Like you could basically work in data visualization like fully because it's on its own basically. I feel like that, and still it's also like a process. It's part of the process. Like if you're in a company, for example, there are like the data, like getting data from the pipelines and like running through things and then visualizing at the end. So it's also a process, but on the other hand, it could also be on its own. So you could visualize data without it having to be a business dashboard every time, right? Like there is data set for everything that's happening in Nigeria. Like I don't know how much we have data in Nigeria, but like generally, right? Like there's data sets for like
Yeah.
a lot of things, and so people just need to realize that like it's you could literally do this thing like on its own, right? It doesn't mean it always has to be like under a process. It's a process thing when you're working like in a business environment, but it's also on its own, like on its own fully. Yeah.
Mm. Wow.
So
To be
it's a
honest,
standard.
actually, yeah. Okay, go on, Maureen, please. Go on, Maureen.
Yeah, you can have it as a standalone skill set because, like you said, people don't just visualize with Tableau and Power BI. Tableau and Power BI are just like an aspect of BI. There are other amazing
Mm.
BI tools that you need,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
as a
yeah,
data,
yeah,
yeah, to build
yeah.
infographics and
There, yeah, exactly. Like there are other like amazing tools. Like infographics, like part of visualization. People use Adobe. People use Figma to do these things. Like there are loads like outside of the business environment, right? So the business environment, yes, true. Business intelligence to like Tableau, Power BI. There's Click. There are lots. Like there is Google Data Studio. Like there are lots of like several tools that are used basically in the
Wow.
business environment. And then when you
Google
look
Data Studio.
outside, yeah, there is
I'm
data.
just hearing that for the first time, to be honest.
Oh, really? So like there are like um tools like even outside of the business environment. Like I think I would advise anyone to like sort of go look at like the most recently completed Information is Beautiful Awards, and then you see like visualizations that wow you, that really talk about like really important topic. Like people are visualizing things for like non-profit to like raise a lot of money. Like you are showing, okay, this is what is happening in terms of malaria, like in the world. Like this is how things are moving. And then people like you have these non-profit guys, like there is something like this for social good in the Tableau community where they release the data set and then the community generally visualizes that data set, right? And that data set is like something that is very people powered. It could be water crisis, it could be something anywhere across the world. And then you have these things being used by some of these NGOs and all these things to like push for grants and show this is how things are looking like. And because like I said, visuals are like so powerful. You don't need
Yeah.
to be an expert all the time to understand like this is bad and this is good. And so it's on its own. And so it's very important that people see it like being on its own. And then finally, before we move to the next question, I think what people don't understand is a lot of us can build line charts and bar charts. Like we can basically do all of these things. But like there are some aspects to these things that make someone stand out because design is so important. Like I could build something and you could build something. And I build it and Maureen is looking at it for the first time and she says, I don't really like this thing. Like I don't really feel attracted to read it. It's the same data set. It's the same bar chart. Like I'm not bringing out information that is bad. I'm not bringing out something that is biased. I'm bringing out the same thing that probably Abefe is doing. And then she sees Abefe's stuff and she's like, oh my God, this is so nice. And then the first thing she's doing is she's clicking a few tasks. She's interacting with the data set. She's learning something new because
Yeah.
of the design standpoint. And so like there are several aspects to like visualization that like make things stand out from like each other. And so the moment you start understand like this thing can be on its own, the more you're able to like take full use of it basically. Yeah.
Do you think there is a form of correlation? I love using that word a lot between being a proper data visualizer and having a bit of graphic designing, you know, color like color knowledge and all of those is
Yeah.
like are they related?
Yeah. There's a strong influence of design on like visualization, but you do not have to be an expert in like design to make
Oh,
really
okay.
cool because me personally, I would never say like initially I was like really good in terms of design, right? If you look at my Tableau public profile, my first business, we're not giving design like in any way. Like it was as bland and as basic as possible. Like, you know, but one thing that is so nice is right now there are like so many things where you get inspired by. Like you do not have to think of everything yourself. Like there's so much already that has been done. We're in 2023. Like there's so much that has been done in the past that you could leverage on to build really nice stuff. Basically, I use Pinterest as for example. If you go to Pinterest, I think I must have shown more in my board. There are like so many visualizations and so many dashboards that you do not even have to be thinking 1 million times before you look at this and look at that and look at this. And you take colors from this, you take inspiration from like layouts from this, you take this from that, and then you put it together in your own, and it looks new. And if you actually like are really influenced by someone's stuff, you just let people know like this was influenced by this. Like there is no bad thing in referring to like what was inspired, like what brought the inspiration, because nobody is doing all these things yourself. Like so that way, and because like there's something called like conditional reflexes. It's like when you're training a dog and then you give it like food, and then whenever you want to give it food, you tell it to sit. And so before it gets the food, it knows it's so anytime you're bringing food, it automatically sits because it knows that's when it's going to get the food. If it doesn't sit, there is no food. And so like you're training your brain that way because you see a lot of things. You are looking at this, you are taking inspiration from this. Naturally, you start getting better. You start knowing, I should probably like make this color useful, or this color will probably like work better, or I should probably like take this way, because you've gone through like so many of these things. Like it's many iterations, and naturally you just get better at it, right? So practice, and I don't know, you can't be perfect, but like you move closer to like being better, right? So yeah, so there is design, but you do not have to be an expert to start out. Like there are experts already, and there are so many stuff that you can be inspired by to like improve yourself, basically.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So since you're talking about design and Tableau and all that, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions because, like I said, this session is about your journey and also about Tableau and visualization because that's your forte, right? So I'm going to ask you a question about Tableau and also about people applying for job. But before then, I would like you to work with your second job because I know when I met you, that was when your company was in shaky. I mean, yeah, it was during that period.
They've already done shaky.
They've already shaped you. So
Yeah.
I see, right from then till now, even as at now, I still marvel at your growth process. Like I told you the last time we saw, and I was just telling you, like it felt like it was exponential. It wasn't gradual, right? You started from just knowing Google Analytics and Tableau, small stuff, to in within a space of 1 year, you have won an award. You have been recognized like Tableau worldwide. You have done a lot of beautiful things, and the community has seen it, and it just marvels me. Can you walk us like through how you navigate? Of course, I'm a witness to that, but I would like the audience to like still understand what I'm trying to say because I always say when you see people here, you don't know the process that they are, taking to be where they are right that moment. So can you just walk us through how you navigated through the process of being laid off, not being depressed, still working your ass off to be better, getting a job, and still doing more for the community, right? So can you just in a few minutes before we wrap up, we just have less than 10 minutes to go.
Yeah,
Just
yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot to say in few minutes, but like I would probably like just say like some very like few stuff. Like I think first of all, like the feeling of rejection is like really really horrible, and like we all deal with these things like in very different ways. And like
yeah.
for some people, like when this kind of thing happens to them, they need to take like a break from everything. Like they just need to take a break. And then for some people, it sort of fuels them, and they feel like this is the fuel I need to like keep pushing. Like it's very
Yeah.
different the way we react. And I think for me, I initially reacted by like dropping things off, like generally, like just going off generally. And I think I started like because the thing happened like in December, like generally. And then this year I just felt sorry, like I felt like how can I like consistently put myself in people's faces, basically. Like I want I don't want to have to talk before people know like
Yeah.
I'm doing stuff, right? So I think that was the driving force. So I wanted to like keep finding a way to, make sure like you're like, I saw this guy last week. This guy posted something last week. And then this week, you're like, I'm seeing this guy again. And like the next week, you're like, I'm still seeing this guy. Like, what's this guy up to? And then you want to click on my portfolio, you want to click on my profile, you want to see what I'm doing. And it was basically just being, I think, very consistent. It's very difficult, to be honest. It's not the most easy thing to do, but it's like just being very, very consistent. And at that point, initially at the start of the year, I didn't think I was probably going to go into visualization fully. When I met Maureen, we're doing like this thing of we're writing SQL queries like 3 or 4 times. Like we write 3 or 4 SQL queries, like once or 3 or 4 questions, like every day. We did this for like about 2 to 3 months, like every day, every single day, kept doing it. And it's just so natural, like you just feel yourself improving. And at the same time, I was doing this, I was also like trying to put out a viz like every week. So I found out like we had like this community challenges in Tableau where like there is a data set and I'm sure Maureen knows about this. And then you have like really, really amazing pioneers in the data space like Andy that would put out stuff and then they will show the video of how to do it. And then I sort of created a process of how I could build my visuals from Monday to Sunday, like, and constantly do it every day. I think I've shared it severally before, but it's sort of a process where on Monday, I will see the data sets and then in my mind, I have no idea of what I want to do. And then on Tuesday, I would see people visualizing these things and I would see the main person like do it on YouTube. I'd watch and then I would jot down some ideas. And then on Wednesday, I would look at what people are doing around. By Thursday, I have an idea of what I want to build and why I want to build it that way. And so Friday, Saturday, I built what I want to build. Sunday, the next Monday, I would share it and then rinse and repeat, basically. And then I kept doing this thing like very, very consistent. Like just kept pushing. I remember like when I was talking with Maureen that time and I would say, Maureen, I pushed out this viz and nobody sees it. Like it feels like nobody sees it. It's just, sometimes we are like too bothered about the likes and the reposts and these comments, and sometimes you will tag 1 million people under just one single thing. Because you feel like if this person sees it, and then the person's network would probably like see it because the person commented or liked it. Yeah. But sometimes like you tag these people and they are just so busy, they don't see it. And some people take it a bad way. And then people have like grudges and say, I keep tagging this person like every single time and it never responds to me. But like there is just so much going on in the world right now. Like you are not the only thing on people's minds. Like you just have to acknowledge that. And so rather than like you keep sulking and like keeping grudges with people like that would naturally help you if they had a chance, I think it was just more about like constantly just putting these things out. Like it's like a musician that is consistently singing. You don't know when you're going to blow, basically. You don't know what's going to happen. But you just know that because there is a lot of luck, like Abefe said earlier, in all this, the way you get some of these things. But if there is luck and you're not prepared for the luck, it's going to be zero, basically.
Yeah.
So luck is going to come, but when it comes, like, where are you at? Like, what do you have to show? You are lucky to get this thing, but imagine you're on Twitter and then you suddenly apply for something and then they reach out to you and you're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, I never thought I could do this. And then you're in an interview like this and then they're asking you questions and you have nothing to say. So like luck is throwing you that opportunity, but there is no proof of work. You do not have anything to grab the luck and it slips out of your hand, basically. So my idea was at that point was, okay, maybe nobody sees this thing for now, but like just keep, it's a portfolio. It's going to be there forever. Nobody's going to go to your portfolio and like remove them from there. So it's going to be there. And that's actually how I got my job, to be honest, like where I work now, because it was from someone like on my WhatsApp status that we met on Twitter, basically. She doesn't do data visualization. She's just like a normal, she's in school. She's just a normal Twitter user. And then we connected, we're friends. And then, sometimes I'm going to friends, like looking at each other's status at some point. And so it's like there was someone in our school that was working as an intern at Magnet here, and he just shared it on his, on his status, like, my company is looking for someone that does like Tableau, a Tableau developer. If you know anyone, please like share with me. This girl, she doesn't do data visualization. She doesn't really even know what Tableau means. But then she texted me like, I thought I saw like last week or last 2 weeks, you posted something, you put like a link that led to Tableau. And I said, yes, sure. Like that's here. I did that last week and said like a friend of mine like posted on the status like they need a tablet developer on his team. I think this might be related to what to do. I don't know what to do, but this might just be it. And she shared me the number. And I reached out to the guy, and then the story went on from there before reaching out to the HR and then he referring me and then doing the interview. Then I got the chance to like do the interview. And then at that point, we had to say, okay, what's the proof of you can use Tableau? Like, what's the proof? And then all the works I've been doing, like probably nobody has been saying, I sent the link to them. And then they saw everything, like, okay, good. So this is what you know how to do. And then the next thing is, how do we know that you are actually the one that did it?
Yeah.
And so like you have like and so you have like this little like, this little do this thing, I'll build this little dashboard and stuff. And then you do it and they're like, okay, good. We've seen your past works and then we've seen this one that you did for us. And so yeah, why shouldn't we employ you? Because you are like the perfect fit that we've been looking for. And so even if people were not looking at it at the point I was building it, like it's a reference point. It's easy for you to say, this is what I've been doing in the last few. Yeah, exactly. Like this is what I've been doing in the last few months. This is what I've been doing. This is what I've been putting my efforts into. And when people see this thing, I think one thing that people don't know is when you go to people's work and you start from the top, and then you get to be like, you feel, oh my God, this is so much. Like this person's an expert. But you should start from like the first thing that the person did. And sometimes you're like, I could even do better than what this guy did, at the start, right? And so that was it. Because, yeah, initially, when you start doing all these things, it could be visualization, you could be checking out someone's LinkedIn profile. And then you are seeing where the person is today. And you're like, really, you're saying, oh my God, like this is daunting. Like this person has how many years? This person has built this number of amazing stuff. This person has been working like in this place. You start from that top, like which you're not there yet. You can't jump from where you are to be in the other place. But you go to like the level where you're at. You go to the person's first dashboard. You go to the person's first Power BI thing. You go to the person's first portfolio project. And I see like this person even made like a lot of mistakes. And you follow the person like, okay, then after this we went to this, and you see the person's progress. And then it makes you understand like it's achievable. Like you could do this. Like it's not alien, basically, right? And it was just that way. So just having that feeling like you could start from like scratch to ground up, but like being as consistent as you can be, right? And like understanding like it's a process, right? Like it's a process. It doesn't happen. If I were to walk from where I am right now to like my streets, I wouldn't just imagine like I want to be at the street and then I disappear and appear at the end of the street. Because like I have to walk several steps. Like you cannot avoid it. Except you are like maybe the Flash or like you're in X-Men or something. You have to walk like several steps to get there, right? So it's just that same thing, yeah.
Amazing. And I like the analogy that you put there, and I hope the audience resonates with it. Like you don't just start from the up. There must be like a beginning for you to start from. So I wanted to ask you this question, but it looks like you've already answered it. The question would have what would be your like advice? Because every of our session we round up with like 3 questions. The first would be what would be your advice to a beginner, but I let me just tweak it like this. What would be your advice to someone who is currently looking for a job, like right now, who is actively applying for job roles, and the person wants to venture into the data space? What would be like the best way to navigate, and how can the person, strategically put him or herself out there for recruiters to actually notice them?
Yeah, great question. I think one thing might be like, first you have to understand like when Nigeria, and like even if you see like a lot of people posting like recruiters reaching to them like every time and they're outside the country, it's a little bit of a different like environmental factor, right? And so the first thing would be that you should, I mean, like it's a numbers game, like I say, like it's not the easiest thing. Some people are very lucky. Some people don't take much time to get these things. Some people would actually take time. You probably not know where you fall into, and you wouldn't know like if something is right for you or wrong until you try. So like even though like it doesn't look like it's working, you have to keep trying basically. And then while trying, you keep showing like proof, because if you are believing like you should get one thing, be ready for it, sort of like even if it looks like an opportunity out of the blues, like do you have like a proof of work? Do you have like what to show? are you ready for it? So it's more about like being ready every time, and then like just keep shooting your shots. So like when the law comes, it meets you prepared basically. So it's not like the easiest thing to do to like get jobs. Like it's not like the most easy thing to do, but while trying to like get to that point, you really have to mentally prepare yourself. Try to connect with like people that like probably related to what you do, because it's like I said, like there is a strong part of mental health in terms of all these job seeking things. Like you could get frustrated. Everyone gets frustrated, everyone gets tired. Like mental health is really important, and because you see like a friend of yours isn't getting a job and always wearing a smile every day, always saying I'm going to push for the next thing. Like you don't necessarily have to be like that person. If you need to take a break and take a step back, please do. Like there is no award literally for always being the first to do something. You could not be the first and you could still get something like that is amazing for yourself. So if you need to take a break, please do. If you need to take some time, please do. But like at the same time, keep your proof of work, and while waiting for like the luck, just be prepared. Like be really prepared, basically.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunity actually comes but once. But guys, please note that in between GB searching for a job after he was checked, I think he had a lot of rejections. You didn't tell them about in between space of
Yeah, of course, yeah.
we are going to have a meeting with you, but all of a sudden they won't come. Like you won't even see the Zoom
Mhm.
link or anything, right?
Mhm.
So let's just
Yeah.
keep pushing, right? Take it up,
You know,
Uncle
you know,
Fred.
you know one thing, like before
Mm,
I ask, like I think we see people's lives from like a summary view, like we don't see
Yeah.
yeah.
the process. Like it's so funny. Like you see people's life like as a summary, like you just see
Highlight.
from here. Yes, thank you. That's the word. Like we're not watching the full match. Like you're just seeing
Yeah, just
highlights.
watching the sweet part, the
and
goals.
and and every footballer highlights could make them look like Messi.
Oh
Like if
my,
you watch
they
some
look so
footballers,
good.
like yeah, exactly. But if you watch them in person, like this person is not good.
Yeah,
But yeah, exactly. So like if you keep focusing on the highlights and you don't understand like every 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 person has their own full match. Like you
yeah,
don't just look at people from the highlights view. Like if you're watching the highlights, man, you're not doing great, basically.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So it was nice having GB around. He ministered. I won't say he spoke. He
Ah,
ministered. It was, he was emancipating. Also, we won't be emasculated. He was speaking facts. In fact, I was jotting things, and I'm very sure that those that the viewers that watched it or that will be watching this video will be like, wow, who is this guy? Don't worry, we are going to be linking all of his his handles, meaning his Twitter, his LinkedIn, and any other
tablet.
thing exactly where you can actually find him. So if you actually enjoy this session and you want to see more, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and also turn on your post notification. It's very important to us. Our goal is to get to at least 1,000 subscribers right now, and we are currently on like 180 or something. So do you have some questions for GB? Please go down to the comment section and drop those questions. Definitely we'll relay them to him, and probably one of those days we'll bring him on again to come and talk about some other topics. So Maureen, so what do you have for our viewers?
Yes, guys. I'm so glad. Like I told you guys from the beginning of the session, like this is quite personal to me, and it's been an emotional moment to hear GB, not just being GB, but also a friend, for him to share his story that I know part of it. But I'm so glad he was able to narrate all the journey. That's why I was consistently hammering on. I just don't want to be the only one that knows about the journey, but I wanted you
Yeah,
guys to, have a shared experience of it. And thank you for doing justice, to your story. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and we really
yeah,
appreciate you coming around. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And
yeah.
for like those of us that don't watch ball, and I kept referring to highlights. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, they will understand it though. They will actually understand. So, if you made
Yeah.
it to the end of this video, thank you so much for making it to the end once again, and we'll see you in our next session. Bye for now. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.